Okay, here's where I pick up going over the schedule. This is part two. Good luck. So spring break, 2 weeks of spring break. Some things of note. We will have every Tuesday during class 2:30, 3:45 a Zoom meeting. I haven't included the invitation number and instructions on how to do that here because I've requested a full Zoom membership so I can have more than just 45 minutes. The test version, the basic version that I have, only allows 45 minutes. So I'm requesting a full thing that should be, they said 24 hours for that. So by class tomorrow, I will have that full version and a class meeting scheduled. We will talk about what the iSearch is, including I want you guys to have read the sample iSearch essays. Read being like you look at them, have something to say, like what you think, what you've noticed. Basically, our in class, like here's some in class time to read this essay and come up with observations about it. I'm deferring that to an on your own kind of a situation so that when we come to class, whoever's there, if you've had a chance to read them, I'll say, hey, what did you think? This is like from here on out, my expectations are just kind of like, I want you to do this. I feel like your best success will be doing this. I wouldn't ask you to do it if I didn't think that it was in your best interest. But if you come unprepared, I'll be like, hey, what do you think about this essay? You'll say, I didn't get a chance to read it. And I'll say, okay, thank you for being here. I appreciate you putting in the effort. Like, this is not going to be like mandatory tisk tisk, shame on you for not doing this. You know what I mean? Like, so do as best you can. I'm not going to be judging. This will be a best you can type of a situation. So, this is my orientation video. We already talked about peer review and the draft. The final draft, oh yeah, here's an important nugget. So rather than having Tuesday to Thursday, which we were kind of limited by the class, I've kind of thrown Thursday out of the window, and peer due dates are now going to be on Friday because I feel like having an extra day kind of evens out the week a little bit better than just the 5 to 2 that Tuesday, Thursday presented. So the final draft will be due Friday at 10:30. So the peer review, though, feedback is still due on Thursday so that you have that day and a half of being able to work on that. But the brainstorm post will be due Friday. So from here on out, Friday stuff. I did not change this. Ignore this. So I had the scholarship interview. I have tossed that out the window. We are doing just a draft number one, due Friday, a week from this Friday. So things are progressing very quickly. We're finishing up. We're going straight from a final draft to a week later, rough draft, a 2-page draft. The 2-page draft, I feel like, is not asking a whole bunch, like rough research. You can just plug in that kind of stuff. So the next week, that's what we're doing. That's what's going on. Transition from fieldwork to iSearch. That's how that's going to work. Next week, so not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, we're going to have a quiz number 3, a live Kahoot during our Zoom meeting at the beginning, followed by I will have read your brainstorm post and will be giving live hey, here's what your brainstorm post was about. Here's what I think is going to go well with that. Here's what I like. Here's what I think you might run into some problems with. So this will be a person by person. Whoever's there will get individualized feedback and kind of, hey, here's what's going on. And then everyone, like, here's some general iSearch stuff that you need to know from my very long time of having done iSearch essays. So quiz number 3, iSearch, kind of narrowing, strengthening topics. There will be a reading entitled Writing an iSearch Essay. Oh man, I wanted to have everything posted by this video. I will post that right after though. And then the pages 121 to 185. So reading response coming right up. Oh man, I wanted to have the reading response up as well. I had a whole bunch of stuff up. I didn't want to overwhelm you. I'll say that that's what it was, and not that I forgot. Then you've got the draft number 1. On the 14th, ooh, man. And for me, this is a side note. My defense, my dissertation defense, is actually on this Friday of April 10th. I got feedback over the weekend, this last weekend, from the person that I was most, that my committee member that I was most concerned about. I'm like, ooh, she might be a tough sell. But she was like, yeah, you're ready for defense. I've got some feedback, but it's minimal stuff. So it's editing and future publication advice. So you're ready for defense. And I was like, oh my gosh, so feels so good. So you have an iSearch draft due, but I have the last hurdle in my 5-year long PhD. It's been building to a week from this Friday. So, okay. Sorry, sidetrack. It wouldn't be this class if there weren't some good sidetracks in here, huh? This 14th, we're going to have a meeting where we talk about your draft number 1, how to strengthen that to get to draft number 2 that will be 5+ pages. That's going to be, you're more than doubling the draft length, so it's going to be some work. Revising for your portfolio, some kind of initial thoughts about that, and then some general writing mechanics stuff. I reserve the right to have some activity or some stuff going on. I'll have to think about that more in depth. So kind of a TBA to be announced exactly what we do during this meeting. That's the one that I feel like is most up in the air depending on what you guys need. And then due by Friday will be your draft number 2, and then peer review. Man, if the iSearch essay is due on Tuesday, you're going to need time. I may have a due date of like the peer review sometime. Oh man, how's that going to work? I hate to pinch when the draft number 2 is due, like have it due on a Thursday and then have. We'll talk about that in our meetings. So this is another TBA specifics of when the peer review is due. I guess it depends a lot on how this first peer review goes. So I hate to nail us down too much more in advance. But the iSearch essay will be due on that Tuesday, 10:30. And then we will get going on the portfolio revisions. And ideally, you've already done some of those revisions that will count. And so for some of you who've been proactively working on stuff, like you might be like, oh, the next week and a half at that point will be pretty straightforward because you've already done a big revision on one of the essays, which is the main thing I'm asking for. There will be a reading response having to do with revision. There will be a reading that I post, and that I don't feel any guilt at this point because that's really far out. So then there will be this will be the dead week of final exam prep and portfolio final kind of check-in about that. And then whenever the final exam time was supposed to be, I reserve the right to have or not have a Zoom meeting during that time. And there will be the final exam that I guess will just be a written one that you'll fill out. Maybe I'll do a quiz on Moodle. I obviously have not worked out all the details. But yeah, that should be it. This is a really long video, but it's not. It's really short if you think about whether this is like a class, like a beginning of class, like, hey, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Taking 16.5 minutes at the beginning of class, I feel like is not too crazy. So just think about it in that respect, and I'm sure I'll put that in the instructions or when I post this. And yeah, congrats on making it to the end of this video and making it to the end of the semester. And things are going to be crazy, but we're going to make it through it. I'm going to be lenient, creating as much support as possible, but also having the same kind of requirements as if things were going on just as normal. So I've cut things out. I've streamlined. We are on track. I feel like all of everything that's not essential is out the window, and we're ready to rock. I feel like the quality of the end of the class has not gone down much. I mean, I feel like inevitably things are weird enough that you're not getting the same class experience, but there's no way you would, like with things that are going on. So I feel pretty good about this. Send me some emails. Let me know what's going on. Work with me. I'll try to work with you. I'll try to be there as much as I can. Grading, I'm going to be plugging away on as quick as I can. I've got my other class up to date, and now I'm pulling my full attention on this class. My other class did not have a spring break, so I kind of felt like I had to pull a little bit more attention for them. So that's, if I've felt disappeared, it hasn't just been a spring break, although things have been a little bit weird at home with this, with my kids. So I feel like I've got kind of a groove going, so hopefully things are now on track. Okay, good luck. I'll see you in our Zoom meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, the 1st of April. Good luck. Oh yeah, that's April Fool's Day. No joke. It's not April Fool's Day today. So, all right. Talk to you guys later.